Hey guys. Okay, this is what happened last night. All one night. From one click on the computer. Alright, so I'm watching a hockey game. And I get a bing on my email. So I go check my email and it's Plenty of Fish update. And everybody knows what Plenty of Fish is. It's about dating site, you meet people and stuff. But I had this thing for like 10 years and I only talked to like 2 people. I don't know how to get rid of it. So it just keeps going for like 10 years. Anyway, so I go on there and I figured, hey, I'm going to go check and see if there's any hennies out there that are looking at me or whatever. So I get on there and I'm checking and I see this girl. My heart just like, oh, beautiful girl. And so I'm looking at her and she's reading her bio and whatnot. And turns out she's from Chatham here, and I just woke up, so so I before the hockey game starts again, I zoom over to her real fast. I just like, as soon as I think about her, I align my spirit to her spirit. I line up to her and I just zoomed over to her to look and see if she's real. Anyway, I did that and I didn't do anything. I just zoomed over, looked at her. Basically remote viewing, projecting my consciousness. I can just do it automatically now. I don't even have to think about it. Christ don't want me to do it, but I automatically do it. I don't even have to think about it. Thing is, that's what I do for projecting your consciousness, astral traveling. I'm wide awake watching a hockey game on a computer. I see a girl and Plenty of Fish, and zoom, I go right to her. So I'm like, yeah, that's great. So I put her in my favorites so I could maybe I'll write to her or something. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta check her out first. So I come back and I am back. I mean, I just zoom. It's nothing. And she let me see. I'm watching a hockey game, and I had the headphones on. The hockey game gets done, and it was the Jets and the Bruins, Winnipeg against Boston. We won, yeah, Winnipeg, and 4-3. Anyway, the game's over. We went into a shootout. Anyway, it was a pretty good game. I'm going to bed. It's like 10 o'clock. I take off the headphones and immediately I can hear Christ fighting with someone and they're both yelling at each other like, and I'm like, oh fuck, what's going on, man? That's what I say to myself. And I'm like, oh no, what's going on? And so I just sit there for a while. The kids are screaming. My wife is trying to tell me what's going on. And they're fighting for about 5 minutes. I heard the guy who he's fighting with, who Christ is fighting with, I heard him say a couple things. I heard him say, one was, he was snooping on her, which means I was snooping around or something. And one of my kids goes, he says he's a Christ, but he's not a Christ. He's not Christ. but he says he's crazed. And I'm like, what does that mean, right? And I figured it out real quick. And then they're still fighting. I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth and everything, and I'm going to bed. They're still fighting. I lay down. They're still fighting. Finally, the fight's over with. I then I'm laying there. Christ ain't talking to me yet. He don't want me to talk or do nothing. And basically the kids and my wife were telling me this guy was like the spirit guide of this girl. Okay, spirit guide. And I'm like, I don't think so. They didn't know another word. This guy was with this girl. And this is in the spirit world, okay? Spirit. When I zoomed over there to see her, to see if she existed, or check her out, make sure she was a female, whatever. I zoomed over there. He saw me. I came back. He came after me. Turns out I'm with Christ. Big fight broke out, but I was watching a hockey game. I didn't hear any of it. So I'm in bed laying there, and Christ is fighting. Christ has a wife. She's doing something. Then more Christs show up. This guy's standing his ground. And Christ goes, don't touch him, don't do nothing, don't talk to him, don't do nothing. And I'm like, alright. So anyway, I'm laying there. The guy left arguing with Christ. He left arguing with Christ and he was over by the girl by himself. And I go, I'm going to go find out what this guy's all about. So I put my arms like this inside myself, locked up tight, and I wheeled myself over right next to him. And I'm thinking, well, maybe he's going to punch me, right? Let's find out what this guy's about. So I tucked my arms in. I'm not supposed to hit anybody. Okay? So I tucked my arms in, and I just wheeled myself right next to him. And he went and hit me in the head like that. Not hard, just like, get out of here, you know, that type of thing. I saw it, but I don't know if I imagined it or not. I don't know. My innocence don't know. Then I'm standing there. And this guy, he's all dressed in black. He's skinny as a rail. And he's got one of them black hats that go around like this. They're flat. And anyway, it looks like something off the Poltergeist, man. And then I come back. And then I wheel myself over to him again. I'm standing there beside him. And he don't hit me this time. He don't do nothing. And then I come back. Then um, 30 seconds later, he's over at Christ saying I hit him. And so Christ does this big investigation. Christ comes into me and sees my experience. And Christ is, my innocence is talking. So there's nothing he can do. I know all this already. You don't, assault or whatever. And this guy's scary, dude, man. He's fucking scary looking. He ain't strong or nothing, but visually scary. Jesus Christ. Oh, he's got a long face. He's all skinny, dressed in a black coat and a black hat. I don't know. Oh, fuck, it's scary. And anyway, he goes over to Christ and starts yelling that I assault him, as always. And I'm like, so Christ comes in, sees my experience, what I did, finds out there's nothing there, and then that's that. And then I thought maybe he hit me, but I don't know. I'm not accusing. I'm not doing anything. Christ is watching everything I do, so I know I'm golden. Then what the hell happened next? They're fighting. They're arguing still, Christ and this guy. And then I've just got this feeling, I don't know, and it's a deja vu feeling with this girl. And I'm thinking, like, she's right over there. She's in this town, right over there. To me, she's really close spiritually. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And I know this guy is a spider. Okay, Christ tells me he's not a Christ. He's portraying a Christ, which means he's a spider, like a 12-legged spider. And spiders have 8 legs. Because I already did this with an Archon. And the Archon was like a grizzly bear compared to this guy. This guy's like a squirrel. Just all words and mouths. Anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Now this is how you get another person help. I do. Now I've told you how to get Christ help from Christ, right? I can hear the girl. I'm thinking, well, I don't know if her spirit talks or not, right? Or her spirit has vocalization. Some people do, some people don't. So this guy, he's watching me. And when he's talking to Christ, he's looking at me, right? And he's circling around me. And I can feel this like vortex of him going around, staring at me like this. And he's going back and forth, staring at me, yelling at me. And I'm like, holy fuck. It was scary, man. It was scary just because it's scary. But, you know, every horror movie ever came back in your head, right? So that's going on. And I go, I'm going to go will myself to the girl and see if she's got a voice. So I'm just lay there, and I'm not supposed to go see her, but I gotta. I don't know, something just making me do it. So I will myself over, and my innocence starts talking to her. And my innocence is saying, hey, can you speak? Can you speak? And all of a sudden she starts talking, like not great words, not a lot of big words. And anyway, she's talking, and it's like her innocence is now talking to me, my innocence. And my innocence goes, do you want Jesus Christ to help you? Like that. She goes, I love Jesus Christ. It's like a little baby. I love Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ. I go, you have to chant, Jesus Christ, help me. Jesus Christ, help me. And then my innocence starts chanting it. And then she starts chanting it with me. It all happens really fast. And so my innocence is saying, Jesus Christ, help me. Jesus Christ, help me. Jesus Christ, help me. And my innocence is talking. And her innocence is saying, Jesus Christ, help me. And all of a sudden, Jesus Christ, he realizes what I'm doing. And as soon as she says those words, Jesus Christ, help me, he comes flying down like fucking Superman, right? She goes, I'm Jesus Christ. How can I help you? Like that, right? Or something. I don't remember the word. And they're talking, and she's saying, and she goes, do you need my help? I'm Jesus Christ. Do you need my help? And she just like, sucked them right in. And anyway, you know Jesus Christ, when he comes in to help you, it's compassion and love and everything. And he goes, what are you doing down here all by yourself? She's like, I am. That's a little baby crying. I need help. And he goes, I know. I was waiting. And so I was the guy who triggered her to say, Jesus Christ, help me. Now she's protected by Christ. So he was there all night talking to her. Just takes her soul, puts it in a nice warm hug, and they talk. And he told her that he's going to do a bunch of stuff, and he's going to take her home, put her back home, her soul back home. And they're talking about me, and Christ was telling about the whole situation. And I thought, I'm like crying in my bed because I'm feeling all this, and I'm like, Anyway. And then another Christ, I'm letting go of this Christ so he can do his thing. And I can feel him pulling out of me because he was protecting me from the other kid that wants to stab me. So I'm letting go of Christ. Everything's getting quiet. Then another Christ comes to watch over me because I'm leaving this Christ so he can do his fucking job. And then this other Christ is here watching over me. The spider Christ, he left. He was gone. I don't know where he went. And I fell asleep like that. And then I woke up in the middle of the night. And I was hanging on to my wife's hands and Christ's hand. And there were other Christs and other Christ ladies. And we're all holding hands, circling this one Christ. We're all holding this one Christ in the middle of this. We're holding hands with Christ's security guards, my wife. We're all like 20 of us. We're all big circle holding hands surrounding this priest guy that owned her ass. Now what happened was, somewhere along the line, this girl conjured up this priest guy who says he's a Christ. I mean, I don't know what he is. Honestly, I don't know what he is, but I know what he's doing there. This girl that I saw on Plenty of Fish, she is cute, and this fucking demon thing owns her ass. And he's probably screwing her, sucking her sex out, manipulating her, doing all that. And I know it, because it's happened to me, and I've seen it 100 other times with other people. Christ, he ain't saying nothing. I'm not accusing him of nothing, but I know what's going on, because I know. And anyway, Christ says he's not a Christ, but there's still rules. I can't just go in there and start punching or I go to fucking jail. But if this guy assaults me, then that's all hell breaks loose, right? Yeah. So, I don't know what I'm holding hands. And I wake up in a circle holding hands with this crazy guy walking around. And he's preaching stuff at us. He's reading out of the Bible. Telling us whatever. And he goes, before that happened, I forgot. Before I fell asleep, he came to me and he was reading out of the Bible. And he goes, Richard's going to commit suicide very soon because I don't know what. But he said I was going to commit suicide. And we're all just like, yeah, whatever, pal. And anyway, we're all, and this is his, so he gives you fear. So you're like, he calls himself Christ. Comes and says, well, I'm Christ. I'm telling you, you're going to commit suicide. All because I went to see this girl on Plenty of Fish, and I didn't even know I did it. It just automatically happens, which is totally natural. In anybody. You just don't know you're doing it. But you're doing it. Okay? So he says that. I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm standing here with this, and this guy is preaching to Christ. Actual Jesus Christ. Fourth tier Christ. I got an army general guy back in, and I hooked up to him just to let him know. And just, give him a shout out, tell him what's going on. So anyway, all these people are holding hands around this Christ. I'm laying there. I went to the bathroom. It was like 2:30. This is going on. They're saying, don't talk, don't talk. And I'm just standing there holding hands. I come back to bed, still holding hands. This guy's reading out of the Bible. Whatever the fuck he's saying. I fall back asleep. I wake up now at 5:30, 5 o'clock. I wake up. The guy is still walking around. Christ now has the girl, the good Christ. The bad Christ, he's out of the loop. He's still confronting me and the other Christ, all of us. He's confronting us. And that's where it stands right now. So this guy hasn't been taken away or dealt with, but he can't do nothing until he does something. But the thing is, this guy's been around for a while because he's dressing like in the fucking 1800s. Okay? And I had a little vision of this guy. And it was the same little vision over and over. And what it was when I was hooking up to the guy and I was falling asleep, I had a vision where there was a truck, a light blue truck, transport truck, and it was crashed in the ditch. Hanging out of the window was a Sasquatch looking the other way. And that was the vision of that guy. Don't ask me. I ain't figured it out, but that's the vision I had. I told Christ, Christ exactly knew what the hell I was talking about. I didn't know. I go, I had a vision of that guy, Christ. And Christ comes down. He goes, tell me about it. Show me it. So I show him it. And he goes, okay, I got it. And I go, you know what it means? And he goes, yep. And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm too worried about getting punched out in the middle of the night. Because the last time I hooked up to a girl in Windsor, I hooked up to her with my innocence, my inner light, to her inner light. And a demon opened a porthole in front of my face and punched me. I got cut 3 places, no 4, 3. Here on the side, my whole eyebrow. I got cut my nose, I got cut on the thing. I got cut here in between my eyes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 5 places. Covered in blood. I had to get the stitches here, but I didn't. Because I don't like hospitals. But I would have if I had to. Anyway, that's what happens when you go hooking up to random girls and astral traveling and astral projecting. And it just happened again with this girl. The only difference from the time I got punched out with the porthole to this guy, the girl that I hooked up to a long time ago, she was owned by a demon that came, punched me. This guy owns the girl, and he's like a Christ spider, a Jesus spider. He's portraying Jesus, but he's not Jesus. He's versing Jesus. He might have even been a priest, but he's not a Christ, because Christ told me that. And what would have happened to me if I wasn't with Christ? If I was just a normal dude, I wasn't with Christ, all by myself, this spiritual, skin's ripped open, and I hook up to this girl, and now I got this guy on me, and I wasn't with Christ. This guy couldn't touch me. He wouldn't even dare, because he knows what's going to happen. Christ is going to fucking grab him and do whatever Christ does with him. I'm protected by Christ. That means I'm golden. My innocence, my spirit, my soul. Maybe not so much my ego. They don't really like my ego because I swear all the time and bitch and complain. But whatever. But yeah, Christ invested 7 years of his life of all these Christ healing me and me learning, and if they invested all this in me, they're not gonna let me get beat up by some random slumdog running around in the astral world. So if I wasn't with Christ and I just randomly saw this girl, my spirit went over to her, projecting consciousness, I come back, and now this thing's mad at me, putting all that fear and stuff into me, owning my ass, locking me into the drama. Now I got to deal with that fucker 24/7. And what would I do? End up fighting them, because that's what I always do. I'm just saying, guys, when you're out there astral projecting and you will yourself to a girl, you will yourself to Mars, you will yourself to the moon, you astral travel to wherever, aliens, spacecraft. This is what happened with Christ, with one little girl on Planet of Fish. She's 35 years old. I will myself to her. All night drama, but Christ took care of it. I slept like a baby. And this is what happened. I'm going to tell you what happens with this guy later on. But turns out, Christ, I went, my innocence told her innocence what to say to get Christ to come to her to get protection from. Now this girl is with the same Christ, or another, with Jesus Christ, where I am in St. Lucian. He goes, you're in St. Lucian. He goes, I'm from, Christ goes, I'm from St. Lucian. And he goes, you're home. And he goes, now you're back home. He goes, you're protected. And that guy's never going to bother you again. She's her innocence is talking to my innocence. I can hear him now talking. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that's how easy it is. That's how fast it works. So basically, Christ is saying, I saved this girl. As me being Christ, I saved this girl from that guy who was owning her ass, raping her ass, manipulating her life. Okay? Doing that to her innocence in her heart. You get what I'm saying? Now, I don't know their whole relationship, but I think he's just a random priest that liked this girl, picked her up and started playing God, owning her ass, manipulating her. And the last thing I heard her innocence say to Christ was about that priest guy. Her innocence said, he turned me to pieces. He turned me to pieces. And Christ flipped out crying. Now, I don't understand the full extent of what that means, but I'm sure it ain't pretty fucking good when you take an innocent spirit or a soul and you turn it to pieces by manipulating it, which is what. And she's got, I saw 3 sparks in her. 3 sparks. So, if this priest thing, Christ's gonna do his review, finds out with her that he did any damage to her, that guy's gone. You don't do that to innocence, man. And her innocence is yipping like you would not believe. She finally got someone to talk to. With the real deal, man. With the real deal. And so, anyway, Christ says that I helped save this girl. I go, you saved her, I just got her talking. And he goes, it doesn't even matter. It's all good. And I did that before with another girl. So I knew how to do it this time. But I didn't make a video about the other girl because it was too close and a lot of stuff going on. This girl, got her. I ain't never talked to her. She was just on plenty of fish, and I looked at her and go, she's birdie. Zoom. Asked her to protect. Just like that. Then all this breaks loose. Now imagine if I wasn't with Christ. Now imagine you're going to go hook up to Grays. You're going to go to Mars. You're going to go to the moon. You need Christ, man. That's all there is fucking to it. One innocent little girl. All this fucking drama. Just saying, guys. Look at this as an example. And I spent most of the night. I ran after the hockey game, which ended at 10 o'clock last night. I had nothing else to do than deal with this guy, sit back and watch for almost 6, 7 hours, 8 hours. And he never touched me. Okay, just saying. Later, guys. All this breaks loose. Now imagine if I wasn't with Christ. Now imagine you're going to go hook up to Grays. You're going to go to Mars. You're going to go to the moon. You need Christ, man. All this breaks loose. Now imagine if I wasn't with Christ. Now imagine you're going to go hook up to Grays. You're going to go to Mars. You're going to go to the moon. You need Christ, man. All this breaks loose. Now imagine if I wasn't with Christ. Now imagine you're going to go hook up to Grays. You're going to go to Mars. You're going to go to the moon. You need Christ, man.